The rise and fall of Chris Johnson, the untold story of CJ2K. Have you ever wondered how one of the fastest players in NFL history went from being nearly unstoppable to quietly disappearing from the spotlight? How does a man who rushed for over 2,000 yards in a single season end his career with almost no farewell, no championship, and years later face the toughest battle of his life? Today, we're telling the complete story of Chris Johnson, better known as CJ2K. From breathtaking speed to heartbreaking setbacks, this is the rise and fall of one of the NFL's most unforgettable stars. Chris Johnson's journey began in Orlando, Florida. Growing up, he wasn't considered a once-in-a-generation talent. In fact, many college recruiters overlooked him. He eventually earned his opportunity at East Carolina University, where his incredible speed quickly became impossible to ignore. Still, when the 2008 NFL Draft approached, there were plenty of doubts. Scouts questioned whether he was big enough. Some believed he relied too much on speed. Others weren't convinced he could become an every-down running back in the NFL. Then came the NFL Combine. Everything changed in just a few seconds. Chris Johnson exploded out of the starting position and ran the 40-yard dash in an astonishing 4.24 seconds. The stadium erupted. Scouts stared at each other in disbelief. It was one of the fastest times ever recorded. Suddenly, every team wanted him. The Tennessee Titans selected Johnson in the first round of the 2008 NFL Draft. Very few people realized they had just drafted a future superstar. Johnson wasted no time proving his critics wrong. His rookie season was outstanding. Every game, fans could see flashes of something special. Whenever he found an opening, he was gone. Defenders couldn't catch him. Defensive coordinators struggled to design game plans that could contain his speed. But nobody was prepared for what would happen in 2009. That season became legendary. Chris Johnson didn't simply have a good year. He made history. Week after week, he dominated opposing defenses. Long touchdown runs became almost routine. Every handoff had the potential to become an 80-yard touchdown. Every time he touched the football, the crowd stood up. By the end of the season, Johnson had rushed for 2,006 yards. Only the sixth player in NFL history to surpass the magical 2,000-yard mark. That incredible accomplishment earned him a nickname football fans would never forget: CJ2K. At that moment, he wasn't just one of the NFL's best running backs. Many believed he was the most explosive player in football. His acceleration looked almost unreal. Defenders often took perfect pursuit angles, only to watch Johnson run right past them. Television commentators constantly repeated the same phrase: if Chris Johnson reaches the second level, it's over. He became one of the league's biggest stars. Millions of fans wore his jersey. Children tried to imitate his running style. The Titans built their offense around him. Everything seemed perfect. Then, things slowly began to change. After signing a massive contract extension, expectations became enormous. Every season, fans expected another historic performance. But football is unforgiving. The Titans' offensive line weakened. Opposing defenses focused entirely on stopping Johnson. Years of absorbing brutal hits started affecting his body. His production slowly declined. He was still a very good running back. He even continued recording 1,000-yard seasons. But he was no longer the unstoppable CJ2K that terrified defenses every Sunday. Football fans began asking the same question: what happened? The answer wasn't simple. There wasn't one catastrophic injury. There wasn't one terrible season. Instead, it was the accumulation of thousands of hits, the incredible workload, the physical punishment every NFL running back eventually pays for. By 2014, the Tennessee Titans made a difficult decision. They released Chris Johnson. For many fans, it felt impossible. The player who once looked like the future of the franchise was suddenly gone. Johnson later signed with the New York Jets. He showed occasional flashes of brilliance. There were still moments where his legendary speed appeared. But those moments became increasingly rare. Later, he joined the Arizona Cardinals. Once again, he reminded everyone why he had been so dangerous. Yet age catches every athlete. No amount of speed can defeat time forever. Eventually, Johnson's role became smaller. Younger players took over. The NFL had moved on. Without much attention from the media, Chris Johnson quietly stepped away from football after 10 NFL seasons. There was no emotional farewell, no championship celebration, no grand retirement ceremony. One of the fastest players in NFL history simply disappeared from Sundays. His final statistics, however, tell a remarkable story. More than 9,600 rushing yards, thousands more receiving yards, 3 Pro Bowl selections, a first-team All-Pro honor, and membership in one of the NFL's most exclusive clubs, the 2,000-yard rushing club. Only a handful of running backs in league history have ever achieved that milestone. For many players, that alone would guarantee eternal recognition. But life had another challenge waiting for Chris Johnson. Years after leaving football, he revealed that he had been diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, a devastating neurological illness that gradually affects muscle movement. The announcement shocked football fans around the world. The man once famous for extraordinary speed now faced the toughest battle of his life. It was a painful reminder that athletes are human beings long after the cheering stops. Today, Chris Johnson's legacy remains unique. He may not be discussed as often as other NFL legends. He may not own multiple championship rings. But anyone who watched football during his prime remembers exactly what made him special. His speed wasn't normal. His explosiveness wasn't ordinary. For one unforgettable season, he made every single carry feel like it could become history. CJ2K proved that greatness doesn't always last forever. Sometimes, it burns brighter than anyone else, even if only for a short time. And perhaps that's exactly why football fans will never forget him. Because when Chris Johnson found an opening, there wasn't a defender on earth fast enough to catch him.